A year ago, I was on a plane. I opened up a magazine and I saw this. She's wearing a tight gold dress, high heels, and a piece of wood sits in between her open legs. I thought to myself, is this what a woman looks like to the world? An object that sells, an object defined by her appearance. When I was 10, I always wanted to play football with the boys at school, but the teacher told me that girls were supposed to do sports that were less aggressive. When I was 12, I started to wear a bra and a thong because my friends told me that more boys would like me for it. When I was 14, I went to my first nightclub. I remember a group of married 60-year-old men trying to hit on me and my friends. When I was 15, the boys in my class would tease me for not losing my virginity yet, and then when I did, they would say it was too slutty. When I was 16, my 65-year-old sports teacher harassed me with comments about my appearance, whilst he was supposed to be teaching me how to play basketball. He once took a picture of me with his phone, and then when I asked him why, he told me that he needed it for later. When I went to go report him to the school, they told me that he was retiring soon anyway. When I was 17, one of my closest friends drugged my drink and took me home with him whilst I was completely unconscious. When I woke up and asked him what happened, he told me that he just couldn't resist. Later that year, my driving instructor would ask me out on dates and compliment my body whilst he was supposed to be teaching me how to drive. I remember he would call me pussy every time I would stall the car. Once he took me up into the mountains and forced me to have a drink with him, even though I was supposed to be home 2 hours before. When I was 19 and out on a date, one of the first things the guy said was, "Well, if a girl is going to be dumb, then at least she should be pretty, so it's okay." Now when I go out to bars, I try to count the amount of times men lift up my skirt and grab my ass. It usually averages to around 5 times, on a good night. Thankfully, I had my mother, my 2 sisters, and countless women in my life who made me feel less scared. This is Sanna. She was born and raised in Sweden. Sanna was physically abused from the ages of 7 to 9. She told me that when she was young, boys would keep trying to touch her, even when she told them not to. When Sanna was 15, she was raped by an elder man. She said that the trauma took over her life. Every day she struggled and couldn't stop thinking about it. Sanna started to accept that women weren't as worthy as men, because that was the only way she could try to find a reason for everything. Sanna said that the only way she felt better was when she spoke about it. She said that the only way a woman will have a chance is if we keep talking, because one day somebody might listen. Thanks to the support of her girlfriend, Sanna is stronger and tougher than ever before. This is Vivian. I met her in Ireland. She told me that when she was a child, she would always ask why she couldn't wear shorts like the other boys in her class. The teachers would say that her knees would be too much of a distraction. When Vivian was 15, she got her first job. On the first day, she was told to go wash the dishes because that was the only place that woman belonged. When Vivian was 16, she got a new job in an office. A 30-year-old co-worker that sat beside her would harass her with weird behavior and comments. Every morning she would wake up in fear, knowing that he would target her. When she was 17, she stopped for an ice cream on the street. Suddenly, a man that was passing by told her that he wished he was the ice cream that she was licking. From that day on, she hasn't been able to eat an ice cream in public. When Vivian was 18, a restaurant owner told her that she would only get the waitressing job if she gave him something in return: sex. Vivian told me that it was her mother that helped her overcome these things because she always told her to keep being strong. This is Nur, born and raised in Malaysia. She told me it was hard living in a country where religion defined the value of women and men. Nur always remembers living in fear of being kidnapped. It was really common for little girls to disappear in her city. So every day was a panic for her. She said that at weddings, men and women sat in different rooms. It was known that Malay men expected respect because they thought that they were the superior gender. Nur said that when women go to greet a man, she cannot present her hand unless he does so first. When Nur was young, her school didn't fund female sports teams, so she would have to get family friends to help make a girls' team. But everybody would still laugh and ridicule her for trying. When she was 17, a taxi driver took her and her friend far away from where they were supposed to go. He tried to steal their bags and they ran out screaming. She wasn't able to take a taxi by herself till she was 21. She said that in Malaysia, women are known to be housewives that should only speak when spoken to, should maintain a family, and be obedient prostitutes at home. She remembers feeling like she didn't have a voice because she couldn't. Nur told me that it was her mother and aunt's guidance that helped her get through it all. This is Hiroko, born and raised in Japan. Hiroko told me that she felt lucky to live in Japan because it was much safer than most Asian countries. She said that the sentence, "because you are a girl," was the most common thing she heard. From the ages of 10 to 12, Hiroko's big brother would only help her with her homework if she would let him touch her. He would threaten her when she would try to tell her parents. When Hiroko was 14, she escaped a rape from a trusted childhood friend. The flashbacks and nightmares got so bad that she had to see a therapist throughout her entire high school years. Hiroko thinks that women should be able to wear whatever they want, but she still changes her clothes so she can avoid comments and looks. Hiroko told me that it was a female teacher in her junior year of high school that gave her the strength she needed. It has been a long time since I first saw that advert on the plane. That was the spark for this film. I have realized that if you talk to any woman in any part of the world, she is bound to have a story like this to tell you. But there are also young girls out there who are being sold, trafficked, forced into marriage, threatened, attacked, and you will never know because you will never hear their voices. And when we do speak, we are too outspoken and too dramatic. We are extreme feminists and man-haters because we try to stand up for ourselves. You know, we don't want some strange man's hand up our skirts every time we go out. Does that really sound like so much to ask for? Women are bound by one thing in this world, and that is sexual abuse. But we are also bound by another thing, and that is sisterhood. I'm using my voice, and I will never stop. It's time to use yours.